rushing with the homies today on the way here. It's like, dude, I can't be late. This is the first time I do something that's gonna make me look hella good online. You know what I mean? Like I usually work in very hectic places, so when I'm in like, I think one thing about like doing things like this, is like I get to leave after here and yeah, go get drunk, but I'm like just so like happy about it.
You're like, I feel good about
Like
this.
damn, I talked to some people, maybe help them in the smallest way ever. So it feels good, man. I feel amazing. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, I was about to cue in the girls with the champagne and the bottles and the little sprinkler. Shh. Welcome back, DoKnow. Or welcome, DoKnow.
This water is perfect.
Yeah, man. Well, and you're an inspiration, bro. First and foremost, I'm going to start there. Like, you're an inspiration to the younger generation. You're an inspiration to me, bro. I've seen you blow up this last couple years and just grind and just be yourself. And there's just something real genuine. So let's start there, bro. Let's start with, like, who you are and how comfortable you are. Like, where does that come from? Were you like that always as a kid, or was it something that you seen or someone that had an influence on you? Take me back to young DoKnow.
I mean, it was like, as like typical and cliche it sounds, I feel like I have like a very normal, and I'm looking at the room and we're all minorities, right? Like black, brown, especially brown. We are here in Boyle Heights, right? But I think when we're sitting here and I'm like, if I tell you my story, it's gonna sound maybe like any of your guys, right? Parents, immigrants from Mexico City, came here in the 90s with my sister in their hands, settled in. They had another daughter. My mom knew that she was gonna be preemie, like a premature, so she went back to Mexico. So imagine, my mom knew that she wasn't gonna get any care in the United States.
Oh wow!
So she went back.
Right.
Had another daughter that was a preemie, so my grandma could take care of her through the process. And she went there. Had my sister. If we're like estimating, she had my sister, let's say like in deep Orange County, and my mom lived in Echo Park, and she would bus it every day for like 3 months to go visit my preemie sister. And then she came back, crossed the border again. This one, my mom just crossed it. The baby crossed with a fake birth certificate. They borrowed it from somebody, right?
Right.
And then me and my other sister were born here. So we're blessed too, Yep. And when I think like 2 years before I was born is when my dad got into drugs. And it started maybe with probably cocaine, not too sure, don't really ask the questions, but upgraded from cocaine to crystal to crack to heroin. And from there on, my mom just kind of suffered, had, troubles. Is a housekeeper till this day, a hustler, doesn't like for nobody to pay for anything. She gonna get hers.
Self-made, yep.
We go half on the rent, you guys. I still live with my mom. She doesn't,
right.
She's like, well, we're going half on this, you feel me?
That's what's up.
So, it's just, I think character-wise and like just kind of always being myself, I got it from my dad. That's like one thing that whether his flaws or whatever, but other than that, I got it from my dad.
Just to be yourself, or just to be outspoken.
Great. Other than the drugs, great person.
Right.
And drugs could do a lot for you. They turn you into a real life, like, can I curse?
Yeah.
I can curse?
And so you have that, like, you have those two things, right? You have your mom who's really hardworking and had that
Angel,
impact on you.
Bro, like, God is like, God made her.
Right.
The other one was a wobbler, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But hard worker, dude. And he just happened to get mixed up in the drugs and he got lost.
Right.
So, but I think my character and very outgoing and a people's person and always had great people skills, and I know how to break the ice, whether it's meeting a new person when I played sports growing up, or a teacher, or even with a girl. Like, I got that from him, definitely.
Sick. And you have a big presence, a big voice. You know what I mean? I heard a story that you were talking once when you were young, and your homie's dad thought that you had a microphone or had like a loudspeaker, and he came in and was like, "Who's this fool with a mic, or what do you guys got?" And it's like, "No, that's just his voice."
Yeah, they used to say that. My parents, they're from Mexico, right? So my mom used to say that I sell like en las marquetas. Like, pásale mi güerita, aquí tenemos todo. Like, my mom said that I had like a very chilango voice.
Right.
Like, it's very loud. Like, I'm just constantly like just talking shit. And she's like, you have that voice. And my dad had that voice. Bro, I'm loud as fuck. Like, people think I'm disrespecting my mom all the time. And I'm like, nah, she understands me.
That's just how I talk.
Super loud voice. I don't need the microphone really, but.
Well, that's great though, breaking the ice like you're saying, and being that person probably for your family, and I'm sure in tough times or in times where things feel shaky, you have that voice or you have that ability to kind of level things off. You know what I mean? And then you
100%.
took that and you ran it with it now with podcasting and with that. So let's take it to there. You're younger. You got this big personality. I'm sure it gets you in certain situations and gets you into stuff. But what was the point where you're like, okay, maybe I could turn this into something like, whether it's the comedy or the podcast or what? Like, what was it that inspired you?
I think it all started with skits, right? And it was like during COVID, and I was just I was doing that a little before that, but it wasn't serious. Like I was still working at Po Loco. I think charge like for story promos like $10, and it was just constantly going. And I think with the interview stuff and I think first any podcaster is gonna tell you a thing is like they're just gonna try it. I don't think nobody ever choosing a name is really hard. I hate Chisme with DoKnow. By the way, I hate the name of my podcast, but it's already there, so I just can't change it, right?
Right.
But it's already like a staple. But I wish I would have thought it more. But like being young, I was just like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, we have a camera on this, and consistency. I think that's like the main thing. But what got me into it was just talking to people. I don't know how to shut the fuck up. And I was like, I'm like, if I could talk to this artist and get out of, make it feel comfortable. Because when you see an interview, you feel like the interview is always kind of like, when's your birthday? When were you born? How old is your mom? Okay, have a good day.
Right.
And like you don't get nothing. I like getting the exclusive shit. Like, tell me something you've never told anybody before. Just pretend you're kicking it anywhere, drinking a 40, eating carne asada, and you're just talking without any camera. Just let this whole space just clear out and just pretend we're having a conversation.
Right. No, that it's a gift, and it's something you hone in on through years and years. And then, hey, man, it takes care of you. This gift takes care of you. It takes you around the world, around. So let's go back. You said you were charging $10 for a post, right?
Yeah,
so
for a story post.
For a story.
Yeah.
Get it right. Look. Like, that's an interesting point because there's young creators in here, right? And there's people who have their platforms. Yeah. And so what was that moment for you when you're like, okay, I could charge a little more for this, or I could make a living off of this? What was it?
Damn, bro. Okay. So I quit Po Loco, and I remember I was like, I think I'll be okay. And my mom was like, okay, I'm going to give you X amount of months. And I was like, I'm going to get my GAR card, be super. Because I was starting to get recognized. I was like, I'm going to get my GAR card, super Latino shit. I'm just getting my GAR card.
Yeah, everyone said,
figure it out from there.
Yep.
So I went to go get my GAR card, and I was like, nah, mom, or whatever. Like, while I do skits, I'm going to just work in the night in some random building in downtown and just fucking do skits and make money. And I quit Po Loco, and then I remember I had like $300, $200 in my bank account, but probably even less. And I was like, oh, I'm going to start promoting. And then I just started going like, okay, 15. It went from 10 to 15 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50. But even then, people were a little hesitant.
Right.
And it was fresh. Like the whole Instagram thing was
super. It's still a new.
Yeah, so
there
it was
ain't no class for it or nothing.
I'm like, yeah, cash at me, and I'm gonna post your shit. Like,
right.
And I mean, I think it's worth it, but it comes with pros and cons. It definitely makes it's the internet, so the opinions are gonna fly. Like, oh, you're a bum, or you need money from people.
Right.
Why don't you just support? And I'm like, bro, I gotta pay my bills too, somehow, But I mean, it worked out. I don't do it no more. I mean, unless it's really worth it. But if you're doing it, just make sure you're responsible with how you do it. Like, if you're gonna tell somebody you're gonna post their shit, post their shit. A reputation is gonna go a long way. Like, if somebody paid you $100 to jump in the air while wearing their shoes, jump in the fucking air.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Do what you promised. Do what you said.
If a girl paid you to post her nail page or her eyebrow page or her lashes or whatever she's doing, she's designing, making beats, whatever, it don't matter. And they paid you, make sure you do the promotion.
Right. And it's interesting you say that, man, because you're making some dough now doing the promos, but maybe it ain't the wave. You're not doing it anymore. But
yeah.
But what other doors did it open up? I know you do the club scene a lot.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like the bread and butter right now?
No, not at all. The club thing
That's
is
just
cool.
a turn up.
It just makes you an alcoholic at some point. It's fun though. Don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, it's cool. You're with your boys. The bottles are being popped, fellas. The ladies are gonna be there, which is fun. But bread and butter for me is YouTube, most definitely.
Okay.
And the YouTube is consistency, bro. I was telling you, shout out Mighty Mud, you guys inspired me to start vlogging. I told you that, remember?
Yep.
When I was living with my sister, me and mom had just got evicted from Echo Park. We moved to my sister in East Hollywood, and I slept like right next to my mom, like this, fool, like in her living room. It was like a little ass apartment, and I'll be up all night just watching like vlogs and like Netflix and shit, and I ran into the fuck EOTR vlogs. To this day, whenever I'm bored, I'll go back, and I'll watch like I love the one where you guys would like when you guys did the A Night on Broadway.
Yep, Night on
And
Broadway.
I remember, I'm good with memories. When you guys went to Vegas, thought that was a real cool vlog. But I like the consistency and the episode-wise.
Right.
Where you guys
we
were
had
like...
something there. We had something there for a second. It was
yeah,
real cool.
It was cool. I like how you guys did day in the lives of every individual. And I started doing that shit off my phone. I used to edit off iMovie.
That's fucking crazy,
and
man.
I was like, damn, I couldn't edit like Mighty Much. But it still get me by a little bit.
Yeah, man. Now, when you told me that story, it was like a whoa moment for me because, you know, every creator out there, listen to this, man. We were getting 200-300 views, and we had just started vlogging, and we were discouraged. We were like, no one's watching this. No one's watching this. DoKnow was watching it.
Yeah, you guys were just a little ahead of the game.
Yeah,
and
so...
now it would work.
And we kind of cut it off a little soon, too, because it wasn't like, oh, this isn't working. It was just... You start focusing on other stuff, and it becomes easier to just be like, it's cool, we're getting it somewhere else. But I highly recommend, you know, and everyone in here, consistency is key.
100%. I deal with that all the time. But, yeah, you never know who's watching. Let's get to that one first. You never know who the fuck is watching.
What's one of the moments for you when you were dropping something early on or even recently where you're like, what? Like, I wouldn't think this person was checking it out, or it surprised you when they were checking your stuff out.
I think for me, I don't think I had the exact moment where people were like, oh, I've been seeing you do your thing. But I think it's reaching out and they recognize my face. So I guess it's a similar thing. But like I got it from a lot of people like Joe Coy, even like DJ Lechero. Like I remember I used to be a fan. Like I'm still like shout out my boy.
Yeah.
But now we're friends. But I remember like when the Cuatro Taco shit came out, and I was like, dude, this was fat. He's doing it. Like I can do it too. Like, you know, shit like that. It was. But everybody, I think my number one goal, and I'm not saying this should be everybody's goal, but my number one goal is to get recognized by whoever had a voice in Los Angeles, and I think I did that fairly well.
Right,
you know,
right. That's cool, man. And so, you know, when you set goals like that, you know, as you're creating, is that in your mind? Like, I want more people to see. Like, not necessarily more people. Like, how do I say it? Like you're saying, like you just want the right eyeballs on it, or to kind of make an impression on these important people out there. Like, is that in your mind, or are you just kind of creating as it comes?
I think I'm just creating as it comes. But when you get the recognition from people, even if like, okay, example, like I didn't know Letty, fool. I didn't know who Ricky, like I knew of her voice.
Right.
But I'm from an era where we already had the aux, right?
Right.
So Letty was before known as Ricky Martinez. She used to be with Big Boy. When I met her, I went to go do a little podcast. Some girl, she invited me to do her podcast. And at the moment, my homegirl used to just drive me around. Shout out my homegirl Allison. She used to drive me around, and I used to do these little podcasts. And the homegirl used to drive me off in some car that her grandpa had in from Guatemala. It's like a two-door. Like we used to hit it to turn it on.
Yep.
Drove me to Burbank. I want to go do an interview. What happens to be is that this girl was Letty's intern.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like done with the interview. I remember we ate hot Cheetos and sopa marucha in the interview. And a girl walks in. And two girls walk in. And then she closes the door. And then she's like, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. She's like, because... And then she presented herself.
And this was Letty, right?
And this is Letty. You know, but I'm like... we always talk about it on the podcast, right? But like, I didn't know who she was, but I knew who JP was, which her husband, Jorge Peniche. I knew who JP was, and I was a fan. I was not jealous, but like, just like it was always dope to see a Latino doing this thing, and he was taking pictures of Nip and Dom Kennedy and Kendrick, and I was just like always just been a fan of just like picture and photography, and I remember being like, oh, I know who your husband is, but I'm just like. Unapologetically me, you know, and she was like, nah, it's okay. And then, well, a couple years later, we have a podcast together, but I didn't know her, but she was watching. And she introduced me to JP. From JP, he introduced me to some people from Streetwise and said they paid a bill for a couple months. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So just the little things. You never know who's watching. 100%.
Exactly. So you never know who's watching, man. Don't get discouraged. You know, don't do what we did. You know, I look back at the vlog, very proud of it, but that thing does stand out. Like we should have just kept on keeping
Amazing
on.
vlogs, really amazing vlogs. You guys should go watch them. They were a little short. I like watching super long shit, but amazing vlogs.
Man, that's dope, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, you know, you start now making some dough, doing podcasts, meeting people. You know, obviously Brown Bag podcast. How did that come about? Like you guys, so you meet Letty, and then you know with Rosecrans Vic. Like, how did that come about?
Man, that shit was an accident, bro. Letty and Vic. I mean, I was a fan of Vic. I'm a huge like, other than the funny shit and podcasting, like I really love photography and I love like writing. I have horrible English and grammar, but I still try it. I was good at it in high school. I was okay. I got a couple good grades, but I knew who Vic was. Loved what he was doing for Los Angeles. Knew who Letty was. Obviously, was seeing everything, learned more about her and stuff like that. And one time they did like a podcast. They did kind of like I think they did like a mukbang. And I had already met them. And a little before that, Letty had tweeted, she's like, if I was what are the people called that when a program director? If I was a PD at a radio station, I would hire Cypress Moreno to DJ, Rosecrans Vic, and DoKnow's World to be the personalities. She tweeted that.
Right.
And we got in contact. I think there was like a group chat maybe. And this is me just kicking it with my OGs in a group chat. Like I'm shitting on my homie. Look who's in the group chat, right? I'm in Denver with a corrido group called LDNE. They booked me to host their show in Denver. And I'm sitting in the hotel and I see their video pop out on my YouTube. And I like send them a screenshot like of their video. And then they replied and they're like, oh, we should try something.
Wow.
And then we met up and then
the rest is history.
The rest is history, Pops.
And you know, with Brown Bag, I seen that take off because I seen everyone listening to it. Like my sister listens to it.
Shout out your sister.
My cousins, like, and I would just see it pop up, pop up, pop up. And that's how it should be, right? Like
100%.
Anything, you know, when it comes as far as like out of nowhere, quote unquote, it's through that organic, people are just talking about it and laughing, and then we're getting all this stuff we didn't know we needed. We didn't know we needed these voices and this energy and this story that you guys tell and just your personalities. I think LA needed it, man. You know what I mean?
Man, I think that's something that to this day, like, I'll be at my house just laying down, and I'll be like, damn, we're cool as shit, huh? Like I feel like we tell everybody's story. Like, how many of y'all been burned by La Plancha? And when we said that shit on the podcast, bro, like, I'm telling these stories, right? Like, I tell all these stories about my dad's, like, his flaws. Letty would tell her stories about being a young Latina growing up. Like, she could do a million things, but she can't get a piercing. And, like, Vic would tell the stories about growing up with his dad in the lowrider culture. And we all have different generations. Like, me and Letty were born by fucking Paisa parents. And then Vic was born by Chicano race parents, you know, the lowriders. And I'll be like, I don't know oldies, but I know these cumbias, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
And we're sitting here, and there's three different generations. Letty and Vic aren't too apart from age. But if you compare me and Letty, she has me by 10 years.
Right.
So if you, like, my first album, I don't even remember my first album. My first album was Kids by Mac Miller.
Right.
Letty's first album was probably some shit by, like, Nas or, like, who knows, right?
Yeah. I remember buying CDs. Like, me and Letty around the same age.
Yeah, I was not buying CDs,
right. Like you said, you got the aux.
Yeah, I definitely,
crazy.
Bluetooth.
Right, you had the Bluetooth by then.
So I think when we sat there and we thought about the podcast, even the name, shout out Letty. She really built us. Letty taught me a lot about structure. And that's something that I feel like everybody needs in life. And even with this culture thing, right? I do a lot of random shit. And I always go back to the things I've learned. But when it comes to the brown bag, I think it just happened. And I felt like Latinos, especially from different areas, from like one of our biggest fan bases in Chicago. And they're like, dude, what the fuck? We relate to you guys so much. You guys are from California, Los Angeles, but at the end of the day, we're all Latinos. And shout out to every other culture that does see us. But when we talk about, like, my parents crossing the border or, like, getting burned by the plancha or, like, just, like, like my mom making me calabaza until I finish it, and then I could go play. Like
Right,
all
right.
these little stories is like you never know how many people you're fucking like reaching. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
right. People didn't. I think people didn't know how much they needed it either. You know, like
Facts and I really gotta appreciate all my Latinos. If you guys do watch the pod, if you guys don't, you guys should definitely go watch it. But
yeah, go
you
check it
guys
out.
really took us to a whole other level where we're in talks with these big companies about signing deals. And man, we sold out the El Rey in a day.
Right.
In 2 hours, I think we sold out the Novo. We had MC, dude. I remember dedicating MC Magic songs to girls in the 6th grade, and now this was like in my green room, and we're kicking it, getting drunk with a banda. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
And these
crazy,
are
man.
things that happen when you really dedicate yourself to a podcast or to anything,
Right.
and just grind. You know
That
what I'm saying?
consistency, and you said structure, bro, because people may see it and you come off the cuff and it's all organic. It's the feel, but you have to have some type of method to the madness and some structure even in all the chaos. And you saying that kind of sparks in my mind because like without even knowing you very well, I see that like we couldn't have got this far if it was just clubs and fucking around and messing around.
nah.
Like there's some business side of it, and so let's get into that a bit. Brown bag opens up these doors. You're getting new opportunities. You're getting new stuff going along, and I know ultimately it leads with the power, right? With Power 106,
Uh-huh.
and I have no questions about that. Like as
Nah,
soon
you
as
can
I
ask
heard you
him.
were
You can
off,
ask him. Yeah,
no, like
nah.
honestly, like I don't have like a
Yeah,
need
yeah.
for me personally to be like, oh, what happened with Power? Like I don't. Well, as soon as I heard you were off, bro, I DM'd you and I was
You
just
did, you
like,
did.
hey,
I
bro,
appreciate that. I appreciate that for real.
and I told you I was like, hey, bro, you're bigger than the radio. You're bigger than the radio, and I mean, I wasn't trying to gas you up or nothing. I was just like, nah, I don't think you necessarily need that platform. I think that platform needs you. If I'm just being honest, you know what I mean?
Yeah, nah,
And
100%.
and so and regardless of all that, like new business is coming along, new opportunities. How do you deal with that, or how do you got like a team for that, or do you handle it all yourself? What's the process for like new business right now in your
Yeah, I
world?
think I think when it comes to like and we could talk about it a little bit just so I could put you guys on game about something, right? Like when that certain deal was approached to us, like growing up in LA, you hear that name, right? And you're telling me I'm finna be talking to all of Los Angeles?
Right.
Like, bro, I'm a kid from. I grew up 5 minutes from here, 7 minutes from here in Echo Park, in a little block, and I grew up playing kick the can, cops and robbers. I remember us playing football on the streets and there being shootouts. And you're telling me you're offering me this much of money to sit here and talk? Like, fuck yeah, fool, right?
Right, right. Surreal.
Bro, I'm
surreal.
23. I'm not even 23 yet. I'm 22. You know what I'm saying? Like you're sitting here and we've got an offer. Shout out Spotify, and we turned that down, right? And it was like, nah, like then depend around until the time comes, right? Because the ultimate goal is the $1 million deal, right? Like I want to be the first Latino podcast to ever get $1 million deal.
Let's go.
You know what I'm
Let's
saying?
go.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
You
Like,
hear that? You hear that one?
you know what I'm saying? Like I want to be able to like I need this offer, bro. We sold out one of the most legendary venues in Los Angeles.
In how
There's
many
three
days?
brown kids. This is three brown kids, bro. It's not like a corporation didn't come and grab me from Echo Park and we met naturally. And we sold out the Novo, bro. We sold out the El Rey. I I go to Echo Park and kick it with my homies on the block. Like, and I'm not, but what I'm saying is just how natural this shit is, right? Like, I'm sitting here, bro. Like, I love coming to eat at El Mercadito with my homies. Like, all my homies back there, one of our favorite things to do is hot Cheetos with cheese at El Mercadito. And people will see me and it's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, motherfucker, like, I'm normal, you know what I'm saying?
Right, right,
So
right.
when all these things are coming, like, life just hits you. And I think we talked about it. Maybe you know, but if you don't know, when when I was signing my like essentially my contract, that same day I got a text that we had found out that my dad had passed away. So
wow.
we have been looking for him for since November, and TJ's a very crazy place. The process takes forever. So my sister had gone to DNA. We tried to go look for him, and that same I'm like, here, bro. The executives are there. Me, Letty, Vic. I'm signing. Like, I'm signing the papers. Like I'm getting
Right.
my card to go inside the building, and hey, good morning, Los Angeles. It's Brown Bag morning. Woo, woo. And I got the text from my sister that my dad had died. So my
Yeah,
head's
man.
all over the
Sorry,
place.
yeah, sorry to hear that, man.
Nah, yeah, I appreciate you. And I mean, I'm not putting the blame on that. I feel like I jumped the gun too fast. And when it comes to that, like, you never want to do. Because what if I, like, essentially, right, like, we're a team, right? And what if I would have fucked up their bags, fool?
Right,
You know,
right.
like, I'm glad it worked out where they're still doing their things, man. Letty and Vic, those are real life, my big bros and big sis. Like, whether we have arguments, whether we stop talking for a little bit, I love them to death. I've learned so much, but I just happen to make a choice that I'm gonna just part ways, and I could see it from the outside looking in, right? Like, you're telling me you got the chance to do this and get paid six figures,
Right.
and you just left,
Right, right.
and every fucking we wish you in your fucking seat, and we wish we had the opportunity, but and one thing I could tell you guys about the online shit that shit not easy, Pops.
Right,
Growing up in
right,
the
right.
like,
Everyone thinks they want it, but
bro,
like,
I'll be at my house eating shit, and I'll be like, damn. And even my homies, like I tell my homies all the time, like we get into it, they're my best friends, but I'll be like, hey, fool, when's the last time you motherfuckers asked me how I'm doing?
right. Nah, word,
You know
word.
what I'm saying? So like certain shit like that, bro, you gotta really
So,
like.
so let me jump into that a bit. Like, is there any mechanisms you have or you've built to be able to defend yourself from it a bit, but also to stay mentally sharp and be cool when you're dealing with online people who say crazy shit and who that hate, you know what I mean?
Oh damn.
How do you deal with it? You got like some like affirmation type stuff. You talk to yourself. You gotta go for a run, hit the gym. What's the
Shout out
formula?
the gym. I've been at the gym. You guys can't tell, but process is coming. Process is coming.
Let Cheeto's right now. Like, all right, fool, I see you.
Lecheto runs for like 40 miles a day.
Yeah,
like,
that
fool,
fool
I'm not
crazy.
dude, if you could run, shout out Lecheto, because that fool runs so much, dog. He literally ran away from fat. Like, bro, hey, Mescal, you've known Lecheto for a long time, right?
Yeah, I know him I knew him when before he was big.
Dude, when I met
big.
Lecheto, I was like, damn, fool. Like,
Yeah.
I remember telling my homie, shout out Lecheto, he never heard this, but I remember telling my homie, like, don't ever let me get like that, bro. And fool, seeing him now, it's like the homie doing his shit, but other than the bullshit, right?
So how do you deal with that? How do you deal
I
with
think,
with that online hate, bro, and that pressure, that shit?
I think my family is a big, like my mom, shout out my mom, but I don't know, bro. I don't think my homies are really good at like, and not just them, but I have a lot of friends, but like they're really good at just kind of like, I don't want to like, don't ask me like they'll ask me, we're friends, we're sitting there chopping it up, eating what we're eating or kicking it but I don't feel like talking about my job outside of this shit, like, and if I bring it up, it's cool, but I think the one thing my homies allowed me to do is just kind of be myself, and like they just allowed me to like just be you, fool. Like, it's okay around us. Like,
Yeah,
we're not
yeah.
judging you. We know
To
what
feel it, to feel it.
Yeah, we know what the situation is. We know how you feel. We know like, and shout out them for allowing me to do that. I think like it is a little awkward when like I'm in the middle of something and somebody would just be like, "Why'd you leave power?" And I'm like, dude, I'm fucking like playing with my nephew. Like,
Right.
I don't feel, but I mean, it comes with it.
Right.
But dealing with the online shit, I don't think. Just don't read the comments.
Yeah.
It sounds hard, right? Like,
I-
it sounds simple, but
And I'm sure like they say, I'll take a Pusha T line, right? He says the love just accentuates the hate. Like, the more better you do, the more you're gonna get. So that's why if you see a big accomplishment, or even after I'm doing lighter fluid, like, all right, there people are gonna say he's sitting down with DoKnow. I could already feel it tomorrow. Then, man, fuck Mescal, dude. It's like it comes with it though. It's just it is what it is. To some people, that's just how they relate to stuff. And then online with such a broad, network, seeing so many people.
dog,
of course,
I worked at
bro.
no jumper way.
Oh yeah, bro.
Dude.
I mean,
Fool, everybody thought I had the answers for everything. I'm like, fool, I just be showing up. Like, but like, it's gonna come with it. Like, you're not gonna please everybody, fool. Like, I learned that a long time. I'm still learning that. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. It's gonna take a while to get there, but like, with fuck, there's like a line. Maybe you could, maybe but like I think with like hire something, like it comes with a great responsibility or some shit like that. Like, or I don't know what exactly the line
Great
is.
power. I don't know. It might be
But
Spider-Man,
some
dog.
shit
Great
like
power
that.
comes great
But
responsibility.
but that's a real thing, bro. Like when I'm sitting there and sometimes like, bro, I've made skits before and I'm like, oh, maybe not that one, but like, or
Right.
like I've said shit in interviews and I'm like, maybe cut that out. And you
Right.
just gotta
Right.
be, but other than that, be yourself. But yeah, I mean, you're never gonna please anybody. Like to this day, I'm pretty sure there's people in their house and they see my skits and they're like, he chose skits over Power 106. What a fucking loser.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
it's cool, like, but I'm happy.
Nah,
And I'm,
and there's no price for that happiness, bro, or
yeah.
that peace of mind,
Bro,
So
when J. Cole said like, what did he say? Beauty in the struggle, ugliness in the success. Bro, that's some real shit. Fool.
right, right,
I never like. If you ask me when I was happier, was it right? Like I'm happy. Like shout out, I'm happy. But like, if you ask me like if I could take my senior year of high school and this, I'll take my senior year in high school, dog.
right. Just to be
I had
carefree
so,
again
bro.
and just
I didn't have to worry about what the fuck I was saying. And sometimes I catch myself. I'll see a picture of me. I'll be like, bro, you can't pose that. I look ugly as shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's gonna happen. But it's a blessing, food. But it definitely comes with its price. And I'm not saying I'm like LeBron fucking James, but I feel like like, especially in Latino communities,
right,
like
right.
usually like the
We're tough. We're tough.
you
And,
were.
and
Yeah.
you're in the comedy game too, and the podcast game where it's just you kind of attract that. People want to outdo do know. You know what I mean? Like people try to get you. So. Nah, man, taking care of that mental health is something
That shit's important, fool.
It
That
really
shit's
is,
real life
man.
important.
And I've learned that too. I just had my son, a couple years ago. He's 2 years old now, and like then seeing him grow and then how it affected me to be a father and a rapper now and all this, like that's when I really started paying attention to mental health stuff. Because before I was kind of just living, like
Just go play outside. We're Latino, fool. We don't believe it. Like, if you have mental health, you're probably in an asylum. Like, no, motherfucker. I get sad sometimes. I need a hug.
right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
yep, man. So let's talk about the future, bro. Let's talk about where it's going right now. What do you see? That's one of the major points with Lighter Fluid is why we're bringing everyone together, is because we feel there's a change right now happening. There's this big movement for Latino culture, Chicano culture, and just in LA in general too, in Southern California, and like
Fool, it's fucking
there's something
beautiful.
going on right now.
It's
like,
so beautiful, bro.
so where do you see it going? What's your plans for the
The culture
future?
in general or just me?
I mean,
Both?
you within it, like you're
Okay.
rolling it, and what are some of your major goals or some of the things you're trying to accomplish these next few years?
I mean, I think the main thing is just being ourselves. Like shout out the brands that been doing it right. Like, and I don't agree with every single thing that's like like the Latino, like that every Latino does. I'm not gonna agree with what everybody
Right,
does,
right.
right? But I think just growing in your own lane, whether you're a fucking makeup artist, you design shoes, you make hats, you're on the radio, you're podcasting, you're a YouTuber. Right now is our fucking chance. We got it, and let's fucking do it, right? Like, shout out Peso Pluma.
Right, right.
Like, fool, what the fuck? Shout out Becky G.
Yep.
Shout out Brownback. Shout out Mescal. I'm trying to think. Shout out Fools Gone Wild. Like, fool, this fool
Right.
selling out the YouTube theater. Like, what the fuck?
Right, right.
This fool wears super long socks like our deals and is selling out the YouTube theater. So shout out, shout out everybody doing their thing. I think as Latinos is like, I feel like it's never, like, I'm not gonna lie, in high school, like, I wasn't embarrassed, but I wasn't playing corridos out loud.
Right now, there's been a change, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Because
Like-
even
like,
growing up, like
You were called the fucking chunti, and
Yep.
you're a chuntaro, and you're a paisa, and
Nah,
now
and it switched though. It
Hey,
switched.
hey, and now,
it's like
motherfucker-
now it's cracking.
and now it's cracking. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
so-
But I just think, like, in general, I think it's our time, and it's always been our time. Like, we've always been big part of the culture, whether it was behind the scenes, on the scenes, or whatever it is. But I think right now the number one thing is just being ourselves and just growing, and that's why Brownback succeeded so well, is because we did shit that, you know what I'm saying, like that nobody else ever did, and that's why I've succeeded in my lane, where I'm fucking making skits with my mom and asking her for huevos con jamon. huevos con weenie, like, mom, I want some costillas, or like, I'll say shit in Spanish, and like, and people are like, what the fuck? Like, it's not new. It's just we've never been here before, and now that we're here, let's fucking get to work. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Rancho Humilde. Shout out Lighter Fluid, bro. Like, you have Cypress up
thank you,
here.
bro. Shouts
He's
out
in
to
the
you, bro.
Cypress is in the hip hop lane, but he is Cypress Moreno. He's Guatemalan. Cypress is Guatemalan. Cypress. Guatemalan? Yeah, Guatemalan, right?
Yeah.
You don't even know what it.
Nah, I'm not even sure. I'm like,
But he's doing his shit in the motherfucking hip hop game. Like, everybody's doing their thing. Vic and Letty come from our same backgrounds, and they're on the radio with the whole Brown cast. You know what I'm saying? Shout out fucking Shower Milk. There's so many people, bro. Like, everybody's just doing their thing and killing it, dog.
yeah, man. So I saw, you were in the new movie in the White Man Can't Jump.
Yeah,
You
shout out Hulu. Shout out Calmatic, man. That was a beautiful
man.
thing.
That food's cool as fuck, man. What's up with the movies? You got some more movies in the works or what?
Oh damn, yeah. I was on my way here, and I was like, damn, should I tell them what I'm working on? But then I remembered I signed an NDA, so I can't tell you because there's a lot of cameras.
Yeah, don't get it.
But yeah, I start filming next week for a really dope movie. Shout out Rancho Humilde. And
Yeah, don't say no more because then you
yeah,
get sued.
I was like, should I
I
say
think
it?
it'll get you in trouble.
But yeah, I'm working with a very very famous comedian, and I'm excited, and I'm a fan, and I'm just can't wait to be in his presence. I had the chance before, and I fucked it up.
Okay.
Did you know?
Nah.
Did I ever tell you the story?
Uh-uh.
I didn't tell you? Shout out. When I was filming a movie called Horchata with oat milk that hasn't came out yet, Joey Coy asked for my number on my way into the set, right? It's like a small film. And I filmed, and I went home, and I was with my girl at the moment, me, her, and my mom, and I'm eating sandwiches, right? And I just get a phone call on my phone, and I just hear, hey, what's up, man? And it's Joe Coy, bro, like number one comedian, right? And I'm like, what's up, bro? And I'm like tripping. I'm like in my mom's house, you know what I'm saying? Like, she just cooked me some fucking like sandwiches. And he's like, yeah, I have this role, like, I want you to audition for it. I can't promise you anything, but you're down? It's COVID. So I'm like, am I down? Food, yes.
Hell yeah.
Whatever. I auditioned, bro, through Zoom, which is kind of weird. But I auditioned, and like 2 days later, I get a phone call like, hey, bro, you got the part. So you have to go to Canada in 2 days. And I'm like, okay, cool. And before I click, and like I have floor on my floor in my house, and I just start sliding, bro. I start calling everybody like, bro, I got the fucking part.
That's dope, man.
I got the part, bro. I text the group chat like, we up, bitch. We gonna start working in a couple months.
We in the movies now.
Once I get this check, bitch is up. Like, I'm texting everybody. I call my mom. She's like mid-cleaning some white lady's house. She's like, ah! I call my sister. We're doing it up, fool. Like, I got the part, fool. Like, I got it. Like, and then they call back and they're like, you have a passport? And I was like, I don't.
I was about to ask you that. I was like, but you have the passport ready?
Okay.
Like, don't trip. I know how to sneak in a country, dog. I'm good. Don't trip.
So the facts. That's what I should have said, but I'm like, I don't have a passport. And then they're like, okay, but we're going to Canada's strict, you guys. If you guys have litter before, you can't go to Canada. If you have a DUI, you can't go to Canada. If you have anything, you can't go to Canada. If you have a speeding ticket, they're not letting you into Canada. None of these things, you're not allowed to go to Canada. And they're like, you have any records? I'm like, fuck no. I think I had some graffiti shit when I had just turned 18. And I was like, maybe. And then they looked it up. They're like, it was sponge. It was graffiti. They don't, like, you're not hurting nobody. They're not really, And then it's funny because the immigration lawyer called me and he was like, we're going to, he's trying to get me into a country. Like, not out of a country. He's trying to get me in, right? And he's like, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And then whatever the day goes by and they like, how my hopes are pretty high. Like, nah, like, I think we're going to figure it out. Ooh. And then they call me like in the middle of the night, like around 10. I'm at the home, girl. At the moment, people were DJing on Twitch. You remember that?
Yeah.
Like people were doing the sessions on Twitch. And then they call me and they're like, all right, bro, like Canada didn't accept your exporting. And bro, I went home, like literally went home. And like I'm sitting and I put like the covers over my head. And I just fall asleep because I'm so mad and sad at the same time.
Damn.
Because and I have a passport now. I want to go get it the next week.
Oh, yeah.
And I even paid extra for like I got that shit like in 2 weeks.
Yep.
And now I have it. So if Joe Coy, if you want to reach out again, if you have another movie coming up, I'm ready.
I'm ready this time.
But yeah,
Nah,
I have a
that's
movie
cool,
I'm
man.
working on. I'm excited. Shout out to people that are gonna be in it. I think one of them was supposed to be here today. Could be wrong, but yeah,
I don't
shout
know. I
out.
don't want to get you burned with the NDA.
Nah,
so
nah.
like,
Shout out them though. I'm excited and it's gonna be a dope time. And shout out the movies. They're amazing. It's a lot of work, but it's so much fun.
that's cool, man. Movies, podcasts, comedy,
Yeah.
a little bit of everything,
YouTube.
man.
YouTube is the fun part.
And the YouTube, of course, man. And doing that. Make some noise one more time for DoKnow, our special guest, one-on-one
Thank y'all for
combo
having
here
me.
at Lighter Fluid. We're pretty much reached the end. I do want to open it up for a few questions
ahead.
from the
Come on, let's do
audience. Let's just do a few, but anyone just raise your hand and I'll come and give you the mic. We'll start right here and then we'll go there.
Yo, what's going on, man?
How you doing, my guy?
Good. PvP here, Hot 16's podcast. Just a quick question. With consistency, you said consistency is really key, and
Yeah.
YouTube, you said, is your bread and butter. What are some tips to a young podcaster you could give to really get that YouTube cracking, to get that algorithm going? What were
Okay.
some things you did?
Clips are always gonna help you. I don't edit. I'm blessed where I could like pay somebody, but before I used to do it a lot. But clips, thumbnails, get good thumbnails, bro. Thumbnails like if you look at Mr. Beast's thumbnails, obviously he pays like $10,000 for a thumbnail. That is fucking crazy. But if you look at Mr. Beast's thumbnails, or even thumbnails and titles, clickbait, it's okay to lie a little bit. You don't gotta like fully lie, like DoKnow died on my podcast. Come watch, but DoKnow, whatever, right? Like I think that clips are the main thing. Shout out TikTok. If you're not on TikTok, go on TikTok because you are missing out on a couple 20 to 30 to 42 millions of views to be expanded everywhere. And thumbnails, I would say, like from what I could tell you right now is clips, thumbnails, and titles. The titles don't have to be too long. Don't make him like, oh, DoKnow came to the inside on Lighter Fluid and talked about his mom and his dad. Like, I'm bored already. Like, DoKnow talked about his dad being a crackhead, comma. DoKnow talked about leaving power, comma. Now you're interested, right? Now you're like, I'm gonna go press. So thumbnails, quality thumbnails. I used to do my own thumbnails on Snapchat. You know how you could like cut shit and like put it together? I used to do that, but now, but yeah, thumbnails, a good setting, good lighting, whether it's small things like don't do anything on a white wall unless you know you got your lighting on lock. If not, do it on a black wall. Like certain things like that. But from right now, I can tell you clips, thumbnails, and titles, like main things. And don't do too much. Don't put any hashtags on your titles. If that works for you, it's cool, but I don't think it really works. But thumbnails, clips, and titles.
And then one more thing with the YouTube in terms of consistency. How many times are you posting a day?
Damn, bro. I lagged it a little. Oh, a day? Once, bro.
Once?
I mean, if you already have like a super duper big channel, I guess it makes sense to it works for a lot of people, but like, what do? You do a podcast?
Yeah, I do a music podcast.
Okay, there's only so much you could talk about it in a day, right? Yeah. So if you do like consistency where people like for Brown Bag, we drop every Thursday at 11 a.m. and we're consistent. We don't miss a Thursday. If we do, we feel so bad. We feel guilty. We're gonna let you know a million times how sorry we are. But consistency, I don't know, what are you talking about exactly? Like,
We bring like music artists on, or like lifestyle people, graffiti artists, just like anything within the hip hop music culture.
okay, I just think it depends what works for you because everybody's YouTube channel is different. But and look through your analytics, see what times are best for you. You will see what time your crowd is like really, really convinced and really like into it. But I would say once a day, but I would say like twice, maybe 3 times a week, and spread it out. Let the content breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
But some flooding does work for people. It's like rappers, right? You're a rapper. Flooding doesn't work for every rapper, and flooding works for like I have a homie that drops once every 6 months. And then I have a rapper named Big Sad that drops a tape every month and that has like 30 songs in them. If you 12 times 30, I don't know math, but you do the math. Like there's a big difference, yeah.
That's actually what we just did yesterday with our 3rd season. We did a flood drop of the whole entire thing. So
Which is cool. If it works, it's amazing. But consistency is on point, bro. Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
Of course, yes, sir.
I'll get 2 over here, and then I got you next.
What's up, DoKnow?
How you doing?
What's up, brother? So, man, I got a million questions for you. I just don't know if I want you to answer.
Just get one. Mescal's like, just one. Nah.
But no, I don't even know. These might be some questions. But no, man, great to hear your story, brother.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
My question is, what would you say to somebody who, man, who just, gets a big viewing crowd really, really fast, but really doesn't have any control over the yeah. So what do you say to somebody that working with? So what do you think about working with someone else, like as far as your content, letting someone? What do you think about having a partner and then letting them have full control over your? I mean, would you consider that a bad move, or would you consider that trust, or how does that work?
If they have full control, they're not your partner, they're your boss. So I think that's one. I think, like, I've worked in a lot of places where you're equals, right? So I, like, when I worked at No Jumper, I didn't have control of the content that came out. Like, that was his platform. Essentially, I was an employee. I got a check every month, and it is what it is. With Brown Bag, we're equals. All our names is in the LLC. We might have agreements, disagreements, but we're always gonna choose what's best for the pod. With Fig Community World, which is a new thing we got going, we're all equals. Some of us might have a little more saying, but at the end of the day, we take each other's opinion. If I feel like something will look better here or there, I'll speak on it. When it comes to like DoKnow's world, it's just me. So not like that, but like if a cameraman's working for me, like I'm gonna tell you how I like it. You know what I'm saying? But if you have a partner and he just takes full control, then I feel like maybe just the independency route might be better, unless you sit there and have a conversation like, hey, bro, like, shout out you're providing this and this, but let's get back to step one, refresh, and we're partners. I'm going to tell you what I like. You're going to tell me what we like. Let's meet in the middle. Something like, even with Brown Bag, like, I control the TikTok because I feel like I know TikTok algorithm better than they do. But it's successful. It's for the pod. Whatever money we make on TikTok, it goes straight to the pod. Even though I run it, that's what they're thinking. Letty's really good at putting topics together. Like we have a thing called carne asada. Instead of fuck, marry, kill, we have a thing called carne asada, Nino rival, where we'll choose like Mescal, Mighty Mutt, and somebody else, and we'll choose who's my rival, who's invited to the carne asada, and who's my Nino. Or we have something called Rate the Ramfly, and we'll rate like the funniest cars from low right. And Letty's good at that. So we'll let Letty run with names. We have, and all these things like Sombra Sala, which is Angie's thing, where she'll come with cheese man about the Latino culture. And that's her thing. Even though we're like, oh, Angie, you know what? Like, maybe let's talk about, example, I'm going to give you an example. When Peso Pluma and the JLP beef thing was, like, stirring up, I told the girl that does Sombra Sala, shout out Angie, love her to death. And she's like, nah, I don't think it's true. And then the next week, it, like, blew up throughout the week. And she's like, fuck, dude, no, I should have listened. So I think it's more about respecting each other's craft. If you're working on their platform and their network and it's a little different, then I don't know. But if you're all the content and they're just, then yeah, maybe go back to step one and do your thing. Yes, sir.
Hey, what's up, bro?
How you doing?
Good, man. Quick question. So, what's like the biggest thing you've learned from like working and like trying to build all this motion and like trying to tap into the market industry and everything, to like finally sitting back and saying, okay, I have my audience, I have the people listening, I have the people watching. Like what was that moment like for you?
Yeah.
And then what's like the biggest thing you've learned of like, that transition?
I think one, don't like give everything 100%. Like you don't want to do too. Like I have 3 podcasts, right? So I make sure that I film Brown Bag on Mondays. So on Mondays I'm fully dedicated, and I'm fully dedicated year round to these things. But on Mondays it's Brown Bag Day. Like I'm going in there and work. Like whatever I could bring to the table, I'm gonna bring. On Wednesdays, I'm with Fig Community World, and when I'm on Fig Community World, we're talking mostly about like the hip hop thing, where like the Gunna and all these things, right? So I'm dedicated to that. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I film a lot of Cheeseman with DoKnow, so that's where I'm dedicated to like the funny shit and like what I'm gonna ask Mescal, right? If I have Mescal, like what am I gonna ask him and things like that. And the audience could always grow, bro. Bro, don't ever think you can't grow your audience more. Like your audience is like, there's like, bro, like Snoop Dogg. Everybody knows about Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg didn't stop when he just only did California. Oh, I don't know. Like, ain't no fun. Like, no, he just kept growing. He's on, bro. Like, if you look at Mario Lopez, that was in your fucking gas station TV. Like, what the? But it's like that. So I think growing audiences. I think there's always room for growing audiences. I think don't ever stop growing. But I think if you find your niche, if it's broken, don't fix it. But it's always good to try new things. Amazing. Like I love ASMR. I tried to do one YouTube video about it.
Do something for us right now.
It was I don't want to freaky. But like I try to do ASMR. Like I love ASMR. Like no weird shit. It like does help me go to sleep. I tried it for my YouTube. My fans really didn't like it. So it's cool. I like it. But you know, maybe it's not meant for my fans. You know what I'm saying? So I think things like that. It's definitely good to try a lot of things though. Go ahead and expand your horizon. Like I work with an all-black cast where I'm the only Latino. Amazing. Shout out my brother. Shout out Tyrell. Shout out AD. Tyrell just announced the best rap group ever on BET, like live with Back on Fig. That's my brother. Shout out Letty and Vic. They're out here doing their shit, interviewing Grupo Frontera, and it's like one Armado on Par 106. So I'm in the middle, like, of two great people. So there's room for everywhere. Just make sure you stay you and be consistent with all of them. Give them 100% if you can. That's one thing I've learned, bro. Like even with the whole power situation, like, you know, I should have not jumped the gun, you know, and it kind of affected everybody, but I learned my lesson from that, and I'm going to just keep moving forward. But just consistency is amazing, bro. Yeah, 100%.
Thank you.
Now we could do a couple, bro.
We could do a couple.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
good
you
on
good, you
time?
good.
All right,
You
we'll
good, you
do this question. If anyone else has another one, got Alex right here. He got it, and then we'll be done.
It's funny you mentioned the ASMR thing. I have a buddy that the first time he broke 1 million views was he put a car video up, and he was too lazy to put sound tracking on it, but all these car enthusiasts were like, oh my God, you can hear the engine. And he realized it was ASMR.
Yeah.
So he does that with that stuff now. But my question is, you said that YouTube is like the most fun for you.
Yeah.
But in terms of like monetization, do you feel like the way that YouTube pays content creators is broken? Or like, what are your thoughts on how these big platforms are allowing monetization?
Fuck, bro. I've heard stories where fools were making like, I'm pretty sure there's people still making X amount of money, but like, damn, bro, you were making 50 bands a month? Like, shit. Like, that sounds great. I mean, shout out YouTube. But like, yeah, I mean,
I don't want to get you in trouble.
nah. Fuck, bro. I wish we got paid a little more. A lot more, actually. I feel like a lot of content, I do a lot of content where it's not for views. I have a lot of YouTube acquaintances and a lot of friends in the industry. Like, shout out these fools, Benny Sullivan, all these YouTubers, right? But I'm like the type to, I'll interview somebody I'm just interested in. Like, I interviewed my ex-girlfriend, and we had a great conversation. And that shit did better than some rappers. You know what I'm saying? So I just think, like, you never know what's going to hit. But, yeah, if YouTube could pay a little more, that'd be cool. Shout out TikTok, though. It's paying pretty cool. TikTok is paying pretty cool. I've heard TikTok's doing real good. So go to TikTok. But there's a lot of platforms, bro, right now. So, like, start off. Like, the new Thread shit, that shit's going up. 30 million people in one day. I got 20K followers in that, Mescal. Let me know if you need a shout out. I got you. But but yeah, I wish they paid a little more. That's to answer your question, yeah. But we'll get there. Hopefully, let's keep fighting.
That's why we got to come here. We got to figure out, how to
Yeah.
be the funniest artist. But. All right, here you go. Thank you, by the way.
Oh, this is a legend.
Hey, what's up, Dylan?
Nah.
I just want to tell you, hey, bro, right now, fool, whenever I am bored, I watch you call people bigots. It is the most entertaining fucking.
Thanks, man.
And this is just like the comedy side of it, right? Like, but I think what you do is great work. I just want to let you know, like,
Thank
it's a
you,
fucking
homie.
amazing
I
work.
appreciate that. Well, same thing with you, man. Well, my question is, I know your life has changed. My question is, do you still kick it on the block? And if you do, and if you don't, are you moving a little different? If you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I think I don't like talk about the shit I be going through, like when it comes to like that aspect of my life. But like, am I kicking it? Yes. But am I going out and doing dumb shit? No. Like my homies be like, woo. I'll be like, I'll see you guys tomorrow, buddy. And my homies aren't haters. They're like, but like, fools be haters for real. Like fools really be, and they'll be your own people. Like, and my homies, I got 4 of my homies right behind you, and they're not here like security, but it's more of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if anything, and it happens, bro. We're young, so we go to bars and get drunk sometimes, and somebody called the homie a bitch, or somebody said hi to the homie's girl, and now we gotta beat his ass, or vice versa. So So it happens, bro. I'm a kid. Like, I'm still learning. Like, one of the homies is just a hothead, and if security guards tell him to stop, he'll jump even more, and then we got to get down with the security. And it happens, but, like, am I moving smarter? Yes. Do I want to catch a case for, like, beating up some fool? No. So, like, I'll try to but if I can, then fuck it. I'm with my homies and we going through. But, yeah, I'm move smarter, like, I'm not getting drunk at views anymore. I learned that lesson. Like, it's like in high school, I used to like do dumb shit, get drunk in random stairs. Like, I'm definitely not doing that anymore. I'm careful. I'm not like when I'm with my hom and like I say this a lot. Like, I'm very comfortable with them. Like, I could say like, you know, we all clown, bro. I have like super dark humor, and if I'm with some fool that I can't trust and he just fucking say some like he just recording me while I'm trying to be myself and be comfortable. And then he like, I'm like, dude, what? I don't want you around me, bro. Like, I don't trust. If I could tell, bro, when somebody comes around me, like whether it's a friend's friend or somebody we meet, and all they want to talk about is, why'd you leave power? How was no jumper? How was meeting? Like, bro, I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm drinking my Casamigos. Like, drink one with me. Like, don't tell me about when we're gonna work. Like, we'll figure that out. But right now, I'm like, and shout out them. I don't know. Sometimes they don't mean no harm, but I just want to like chill, Like when Mescal pulled up to my hot dog shit, appreciate you for coming. When he pulled up, I expressed my feelings about like me loving the vlogs and stuff like that. But he sat there with his kids, and I was like, we played and we just chopped it up around regular shit. He wasn't asking me like, oh, what about Adam 22? What about leaving? Like, and you know, so you gotta respect shit like that. Like, you example, bro. What you do is one of the most craziest shits ever. Like, your dedication to what. If you guys want to succeed on YouTube, his dedication to what he does, that's a perfect. Bro doesn't miss a fucking beat. The consistency on what he does is amazing. Shout out to street vendors. I learned about penal codes through you, fool. I'm letting you know this right now, bro. Like, this is dead ass. Like, I didn't know I wasn't following you. I thought I was following you. You always come up on my feed. I go back and watch the funniest videos. Like, the word bigot, I put it in my vocabulary because of you. I'm just letting you know right now,
All right,
bro.
But thank you. You answered my question because we need you, man, right?
Appreciate it. We need you, bro.
Gracias.
Somebody ever fucks around with a street vendor around me, I'm recording that shit. I might not do exactly what he does. I don't know all the penal codes and the rules, but his work is amazing.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up the one-on-one conversation with DoKnow. Make some noise for DoKnow one more time, man.
Thank you guys so much.
And make some noise for yourself for being here. Lighter Fluid Hip Hop Conference. This is all we wanted. I see so many great people in the spot. We're just so blessed, and this has really been a dream come true and a full circle moment of just all the people on this journey coming together
100%.
and doing this. So thank you, DoKnow, for everything, man. And
Thank
yo,
you.
can we just can everyone stand up? Just give yourself a round of applause. 7 hours. We got here at 11 a.m. We did 7 hours of workshops, of lectures, and an amazing interview with DoKnow. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Lighter Fluid Hip Hop Conference is done.
I just spit out my water. I'm so sorry. Shout out whoever's cleaning this. But thank you guys so much.
All right, man. That's it. Don't forget. Oh, yeah. We're going to go outside and take a picture together. We want to, get this moment, document this moment. So let's go outside, take some pictures.